The palace was burning when the alarms began to scream. Flames climbed the silver towers of the royal spire of Aver. Smoke poured into the night sky above the capital city of Aler. Citizens ran through the streets in panic. Royal guards formed desperate lines with water cannons. None of it was enough. Inside the palace, chaos ruled. Queen Thalira of Averin stood in the grand hall with soot on her pale blue skin. Her golden robes were torn. Her long crest trembled with fear. Around her, alien courtiers shouted over one another. The eastern wing is lost. The fire blocks the stairways. The princess is still inside. Those words cut through everything. Princess Illyri. She had been in her observatory chamber in the highest tower when the explosions began. No one knew how the fire had started. Some whispered sabotage. Others whispered rebellion. It did not matter. The tower was engulfed. No one can reach her, a commander said. His 4 eyes were wide with terror. The structure is unstable. The heat is too intense. Silence followed. Then a different voice spoke. I can reach her. Every head turned. Private Daniel Reyes of Earth stood near the back of the hall. His uniform was already streaked with ash. He was not tall by human standards. He was not famous. He was simply one of the exchange soldiers assigned to protect the palace. As part of the Interstellar Unity Pact, humans were new to the galactic stage. Many still saw them as reckless and primitive. Queen Thalira stared at him. Human, the tower is collapsing. Even our strongest cannot survive that heat. Daniel looked up toward the burning tower. Through a shattered window, he could see the orange glow of the observatory chamber. With respect, Your Majesty, he said, we trained for this. He did not wait for permission. He ran outside. Debris fell like deadly rain. A section of the tower crashed into the courtyard. Guards shouted at him to stop. He ignored them. He pulled a compact rebreather mask from his belt and secured it over his face. He wrapped a heat shield cloak around his shoulders. Then he entered the Inferno. The hallway inside was a tunnel of flame. The walls were lined with ancient tapestries that now fed the fire. The air shimmered. The temperature warning on his wrist display flashed red. Daniel moved low and fast. On Earth, he had trained in burning structures. He had crawled through smoke. He had carried wounded civilians from collapsed buildings after earthquakes and bombings. Fire was an old enemy of humanity. A beam crashed down behind him. The exit vanished in sparks. He kept going. At the base of the tower stairwell, he found 3 royal guards trapped beneath fallen stone. Their silver armor had melted at the edges. One guard lifted his head weakly. Leave us, he rasped. Save the princess. Daniel assessed the rubble. He could not lift all of it. Not in time. The stairwell above was already cracking. He made a choice. He pulled the smallest guard, free, and dragged him clear of the flames. The other 2 he could not reach. Their eyes met his. They gave a silent nod. Tell the queen, one whispered. Daniel swallowed hard. Then he ran upward. The stairwell spiraled around the tower interior. Fire chased him from below. The stone grew hotter with every step. Halfway up, the ceiling ahead collapsed. He stopped. There was no clear path above him. He heard a faint sound, coughing. He looked at the outer wall. Large windows circled the tower at intervals. Most had shattered from the heat. He made another choice. Daniel smashed one remaining pane with the butt of his sidearm. Shards exploded outward. A blast of cold night air rushed in. Far below, the courtyard looked like a sea of chaos. He clipped a graveline from his belt to a decorative stone column that still stood firm. It was not designed for this. It was meant for emergency descents, not climbs. He stepped out of the tower. Gasps rose from the crowd. Below, as they saw him emerge against the burning wall, he began to climb. Flames licked out of windows above him. Pieces of the exterior facade broke loose and fell past him. His gloves smoked. His arms trembled from strain and heat. Inside the observatory chamber, Princess Allery lay near the central console. Smoke filled the room. Her delicate lungs were not built for such air. Her vision blurred. She had tried the door, but it would not open. The control panels were dead. Then the window. Behind her shattered inward. A figure rolled through the smoke. For a moment she thought it was a spirit from legend. The figure pulled off his mask and placed it over her face instead. "It's going to be okay," Daniel said. "I have you." He wrapped her in the heat shield cloak. The fabric began to char at the edges immediately. The floor groaned. "How will we leave?" she asked weakly. "The fast way." He lifted her into his arms and moved to the broken window. The graveline still hung outside. The princess saw the drop and froze in terror. "You trust me?" he asked. She looked into his smoke-streaked face. Human eyes were small compared to her people's, but they were steady, yes. She whispered. He secured her to his chest with the line harness. Then he stepped into empty air again. The tower behind them roared as another explosion tore through its base. The upper levels began to tilt. Daniel activated the graveline. Descent. They dropped. The device strained under combined weight and unstable anchor point. Sparks shot from the mechanism. Halfway down, the anchor column above cracked. The line snapped free. For one heartbeat they fell without control. Daniel twisted his body in midair. He shielded the princess with his back. He triggered the emergency burst in the grav harness. A pulse of force slowed them. Just enough, they crashed into a lower balcony instead of the stone courtyard. The impact shattered the railing and sent them tumbling onto the platform. Pain exploded across Daniel's side. Something cracked. He forced himself to move. The balcony began to crumble as the tower finally gave way. The upper half collapsed inward in a thunder of stone and flame. Guards rushed forward through smoke and falling debris. They reached the balcony just as Daniel rolled the princess clear of the edge. He pulled off the mask from her face. She inhaled clean air and began to cough hard but steady. "Princess Allery is alive," a guard shouted. A wave of relief swept through the courtyard. Queen Thalira pushed through the crowd. She dropped to her knees beside her daughter. Royal dignity meant nothing in that moment. "Illyri," she breathed. "I am here, mother," the princess said. The queen looked up at Daniel. He was trying to stand. He failed. Blood seeped through his uniform where stone had pierced his side. "You saved her," the queen said softly. Daniel gave a small nod. Could not let the tower win. Medics rushed in. As they lifted him onto a stretcher, the queen placed her hand over his burned glove. "From this day forward," she said so all could hear, "humanity shall be known in Averin, not as reckless newcomers, but as brave allies. This soldier has shown us the measure of his kind." The crowd bowed their crests in respect. Daniel drifted toward unconsciousness as the palace smoldered behind him. He did not hear the cheers. He did not see the way the alien citizens looked at him with new understanding. He only knew one thing: the princess was alive, and for a human soldier far from Earth, that was enough.